Welcome to Follow the Content Leaders, a podcast where we will learn how leaders, entrepreneurs, CEOs, coaches, and consultants use their content in their business strategies. Hi everyone, good morning. I'm super happy today to be joined with Adam Farago. I hope I pronounced that properly. He's a technology recruitment leader and founder at TActix. So good morning, Adam. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Monica. Thank you for having me on the show. I'd say, the weather is beautiful, but that's a lie. Here in Hungary, it's gray, cloudy,
Mm.
disgusting. But anyways, I'm doing well. Yeah, you pronounced my name almost correctly, but I know Hungarian is a tricky language. Um, and yeah, like you said, I'm just a founder of Tactics, which is, by the way, an acronym of talent acquisition tactics. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, ChatGPT was the one who influenced me. So if anyone wants to establish their own business and struggling with finding a good name,
Naming.
I highly recommend to use ChatGPT. Obviously, it wasn't ChatGPT's main idea, so it was, but ChatGPT can give some good hints
Mhm.
if you are, not that creative.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure some people will be interested in getting the prompt you used to actually get that idea from ChatGPT. So,
yeah, it was nothing extraordinary. Um, I just wrote down our values, the missions, the goal, which is strategic partnership in recruitment in nutshells, and I just asked ChatGPT, okay, provide me a list of names,
hmm
and it provided 10. I asked 10 more, and it just written the talent tactics or something similar. And I was wondering, okay, then why not call tactics? Because you know
hmm
ta is can be considered as talent acquisition, and it's a good way playing with the word. So, but anyways,
I
if
love
someone
it.
is anyone is still interested, let me know, and I will send you, or I will tell you how to
Yeah.
ask ChatGPT for this kind of content.
It's so funny how just prompting ChatGPT and getting the back and forth gives you and ignites ideas in you, and that's what you end up using, right?
Indeed, and it can give us so simple and so easy ideas that when we are overthinking the stuff. So I was thinking of acronyms of, I don't know, too many acronyms, and I just, okay, said, okay, give me a name, and it just come up
hmm
with a name.
Cool.
So sometimes machines are not, overthinking the task we do. So that this is the reason why we should use AI and ChatGPT, I'd say.
Yeah, super helpful. So, before we start, I always like to ask my guests what is the one thing that you always have in your office with you to work?
My laptop, I would say.
Obviously, anything else?
No, I don't have this kind of objects or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously, yeah. I have a picture, by the way. There it is.
Mm.
This is my
Aw,
son. Yeah,
that's
and
cute.
there's a poem there. So yeah, I always have this. Um, and I have a lamp here, but I do
Cool.
not know why. I mean, you just brought up this lamp and just put it.
It's
Uh,
not plugged in either, so
yes, yeah. So it's not nothing, consciousness about this stuff. We just left the lamp there. So
interesting. So you work with a clear space, you have no notebooks, pens, or only your laptop, and that's it.
yeah, and another monitor. But yeah, no. especially I saw that someone had Pikachu with there, and you have the
Mm-hmm.
clothes there. I don't have those type of stuff. Obviously, I have a cup of water here,
Mm-hmm.
a glass of water here, and not nothing, nothing
Good.
like.
Okay, so you've spoken about how you came up with your company name, and now I want to learn a bit more about what is it exactly that your company does.
Yeah, definitely. We are solving problems. More precisely, we are solving hiring problems, and these problems can be inefficient hiring processes or time-consuming hiring processes. Um, and we want to put ourselves in a space which we say, okay, we provide premium services. So we are not just like any other recruitment agencies who's just filling roles. um, we really put some efforts on being considered as a strategic partner by the business, and by that that's not rocket science. Obviously, it just working with data, providing some data insights to companies. So for example, if they say, hey, we want to hire a kind of unicorn developer, um, with technology knowledge that, for example, didn't exist, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago. So, for example, if someone wants a prompt engineer with 5 years of experience working with large language models, obviously, we can provide them the data that, hey, it's not gonna happen because it just doesn't exist, or you have 100 possible talent pool, um, a talent pool of 100 person, and with this we can influence the decision makers that, okay, maybe it's better if they lower the bar or something. Obviously, we have them negotiating with the candidates, keeping the candidates warm during the process, because that's the most important. Because I haven't mentioned, but we are operating in the technology space, IT recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
In technology, even nowadays, when there's a downturn, in roles, the competition for the skilled labor is still very, 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 very high. And if you are not keeping attracted your candidates, then you're gonna lose them because they are interviewing for another company or two or three other companies at the same time. So we have companies keep the processes tight, sharp, and quick. And obviously, I would say what is innovative in our business is that we automate most of the tasks that can be automated. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, we come up with a solution, um, with which we can automate LinkedIn reach outs, and with that, we can be way more quicker than some other agencies, because we realize that, okay, if someone accepting our connection request on LinkedIn, that means that they are active on LinkedIn. So it's better to send them messages immediately once they accepted our invitation, and with that, we can drop them into the process very, very quickly. So normally, if we get a role, it takes maximum a week to
Mm-hmm.
to send qualified and quality candidates to companies, because we are not the believers of the more candidates, the more placement. We believe in
Mm-hmm.
quality CVs, quality candidates, vetted candidates. So our clients don't have to deal with tens or hundreds of CVs. They will get just
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5, but most of the time they place one of our candidates. If we send, for example, we just closed the role, we sent 4 CVs, I think, maybe
Mm-hmm.
5, and they just
That's
they
enough, right?
yeah, I mean they were able to. I mean all candidates went on interview, which is good. Someone dropped
Mm-hmm.
out, and two was qualified as very, very good candidates. One offer was made, and the candidate just accepted yesterday. So, in a nutshell,
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. In a nutshell, I would say we save time for our clients, and obviously, we find them good candidates. And
Amazing.
yeah, basically, that's it.
Cool. And I'm curious then to also know a bit how have you used content in acquiring your clients, and also maybe if you use content to attract candidates, or if you analyze candidates based on their content a bit. Does content play any role in your business at the moment?
Um, yes, I would say. Um, I started writing content back in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and I think in March, April, or somewhere around last year. And for the first times, I used content, to build my own brand. And I never communicated to candidates, um, because I wanted to communicate with the stakeholders of the companies. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm using content. I have, I would say, one or two roles with the content.
Mm-hmm.
Be genuine. That's the first one, and and I want to help with my fellow recruiters, for my recruiter peers, with my content. So that's the way why I'm trying to always come up with a real life example. So I'm sure you saw a lot of content, and if you are in the business and see a content that that sounds good, but there are many times, if you're working in that industry, you will realize that, okay, this person has never tried this in practice, because
Yeah.
you know that, okay, what's the obstacles in if you're using it in practice, and you know that, okay, it sounds good, however in real life it can't just work. um, and I really want to avoid those type of content, that sounds really good, but I've never tried in real life. So that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
always using examples, and I'm using examples because I think storytelling. I mean, me personally, I I can connect with a content or a story if it's told in a kind of a story, or I'm getting some kind of example, so I will know that, okay, this is how the person meant that, and this is how I can implement that. Um, so this is how I'm using content. I mean, it hasn't
Mm-hmm.
generated any leads so far, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it generated some good discussions with fellow recruiters. So some came up with, okay, they need an advice how to use data because they really like my posts with data. um, and many people said that, okay, they are seeing that I'm posting and my posts are great, but I've never asked them that, okay, why you are not liking, or or commenting those posts, if you
So many
if
people.
you yeah, I mean if you see why you're not dropping a like or whatever. um and at the very beginning, I know how I was influenced by, by the likes, by the impressions.
Mm-hmm.
um today I just don't care
Mm-hmm.
about I mean the number of impressions or the number of likes. What I do care is about uh, who viewing my post. So, for example, if I see, for example, in the last couple of weeks, we switched our focus to Germany, and it's great that I see, okay, my content is trending in Berlin and other German countries, which is good. So I do care about
Mm-hmm.
that stuff, that who's viewing my content. For example, at the very beginning, very HR people very rarely viewed my content. That's because I'm a recruiter, and LinkedIn thinks, okay, then you should, if you're an IT recruiter, most probably software engineers, data analysts, and DevOps engineers should view your content. So I had a really high amount of views. um, but very rarely was viewed by HR. And right now, my content is mostly viewed by HR or TA person, which is very good. The
That's
transition was
great.
tough. I mean, it was an intense work, but anyways,
I mean,
it worked out.
yeah, you raised some super important points, right? At the beginning, when you were talking about how you use content with examples, I
Yeah,
feel like that's exactly the difference of when you are talking about something from a theoretical point of view and from a practical point of view, right? It's just
yeah,
so how they teach things at university and how then you actually work with what you've learned at university. It's exactly the same, right? University is a theoretical world where someone is
indeed.
speaking about something in a very beautiful manner, and then there is the real world where the application of what you learned, it's completely different, and it has nuances and complications that you can always only figure out once you've actually applied that. And the fact that you're sharing that makes your content much more relevant in any space that you are. So this on the one side, and then in terms of people seeing your content and not engaging with it, but then talking to you personally and saying, "I'm such a
Yes,
big fan. Your content is great," etc. Happens to all of us. I mean, I always say I have not closed one client that has engaged with my content previously to hiring me as their help on content. So no one has engaged with me, my clients. Yeah, so definitely you're not alone in this. And
I
then
think
you explained also how you managed to switch your impressions from like prospect candidates to prospect clients. So I'm curious, how did you manage to make this switch? Because it's a struggle that I've seen in recruiters. I've had recruiters as clients too, and we tried to work on that. So I'm curious to know, how did you manage to do
yes,
that?
it's gonna be a very tough work because if you're a hands-on recruiter in the same time, that means that you are reaching out to your target audience, which can be, I don't know, financial analysts, software engineers, or whatever. Um, and if you automate LinkedIn, which I've done, then LinkedIn will analyze that, okay, you are connected hundreds of software engineers, let's say, or financial analysts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are posting, your post should be seen by financial analysts because that's your target audience, which is obviously not true. I mean, if AI is implemented in LinkedIn, I'm thinking why a post that was written to HR business partners or TA business partners, or why it's shown to software engineers just because I'm connected with software engineers.
I
So
think the algorithm is not that smart. Let's hope they don't
yes,
hear us, but
yes. So there will be always an issue with that. Simply what I did, I've connected only with HR leaders or TA leaders uh, for some couple of months, and I wrote them a message on LinkedIn. Or, thanks for the connection, whatever. If they want to work with me, why not do that, or just follow my content. I tried a lot of things, but with that, I think I could influence LinkedIn. So I've never contacted my candidates via the
okay.
normal messaging, but I've contacted them via LinkedIn Recruiter, and I send them an email message. Maybe that was helpful. Obviously, what
Mm-hmm.
was also helpful that I right now I very rarely have hands-on duties because I have a deal with the co-founder of TActix that I mainly do BD and she's mainly doing the candidate stuff. And for example,
Okay.
she will start communicating to the candidates um,
Mm-hmm.
next week. So this is how we said, okay, let's split, how we communicate to the market. I do the companies and the stakeholders, and she will do the candidate kind of talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Separating the tasks,
yeah,
right?
we separating the tasks. I see that this is working for a couple of companies. It seems it works well.
Mm-hmm.
So we will try this. Um, and to be honest, like I said, I want to be genuine and authentic,
Mm-hmm.
um, which cannot work if I communicate to candidates, because if you see, the recruitment market, I would say 9 out of 10 recruiters who's writing content, they are communicating to candidates, and you cannot come up with any kind of innovation because everyone's telling
Mm-hmm.
the same: what to place in the CV, how to
Yeah.
prepare for an interview, which are obviously good advices. However, I didn't want to be, the tenth recruiter
Mm-hmm.
will communicate about the same thing, and I have a, I don't know, kind of motivation that recruiters should transform into a strategic partner role, because that's what I realized during my internal recruiter journey, that if you are considered as a strategic partner by the business, then you're gonna influence the hiring managers, the whole team, and you can be way more effective. Your team can be way more effective rather than just serving and filling roles. Uh,
Mm-hmm. So
so it's a
true.
kind of mission, I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking what else I did
No,
to.
but I mean, separating the tasks, I think it's the way to go because you tell the
Yeah,
LinkedIn algorithm exactly if I'm
yes.
growing in this direction, he's going to be showing your
Well,
content to this
well,
direction. And yeah, sorry.
maybe one thing. Not sorry to interrupt you, but I fear that I'm gonna forget this. I started
Mm-hmm.
to commenting to TA or HR leader posts, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
that was very helpful. Nowadays, I'm not doing that because I don't have time uh, for that to
Mm-hmm.
be on LinkedIn too much. Maybe I should be more active. Um,
Yeah.
but anyways, I will see that. But maybe commenting helped a lot.
I mean, from my experience, in terms of who gets shown your content, it's more influenced by who you're having private conversations than by who you're commenting on. So, if what you are doing is
Okay.
adding key players in the recruitment area, not the candidates, and you are starting private conversations with them in the DMs, that was definitely what would have made the switch for the algorithm to start showing them your content.
Okay, and just one more tip that I did. Um, I'm always posting on Tuesday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
What I did, I sent a connection request during the weekend on Monday. So
Mm-hmm.
the ones who accepted my connection request were most likely see my post.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful for the first time.
Yeah, that's a nice strategy too. However, they're probably going to be displayed with content that's from before, not the new one. But you know, when
Yeah.
sometimes you see content from 1 week ago, so that is usually what happens with new
Yes.
connections. But yeah, so this was super interesting. I'm glad we had a conversation. I didn't ask you the usual questions I ask people, but I think we can finish only with one additional question. That is, what part of creating content do you enjoy, and what part do you hate or dislike?
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Like, do
Um,
you enjoy the part of writing, of coming up with ideas, of editing, of creating visuals, maybe? And what is the
Obvious.
part that you hate about it?
Yeah, I would say all part. Uh,
All part you enjoy or you hate? I'm
all
scared.
I hate all
Oh.
parts of creating content. No, I mean, um, sometimes it's very tough to be come up with some genuine ideas, even in a situation where, okay, you're focusing on getting roles closed or getting new clients, which is obviously very frustrating nowadays, because we want to sell something to companies that they don't want to buy.
Mhm.
uh, So it's an interesting thing. Um, but when I'm talking about how to use data and how to influence decision makers with data, um, that's fine. I really like those type of content when I've read something and I was
Mm-hmm.
able to summarize it, um, which was very good. For editing, I use ChatGPT, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
And how about when you get feedback from your posts, like when you get comments and someone comments on the idea you've shared? That must, like, that's something I usually enjoy too.
Yeah, I'm. What I like is when I'm called out, or I'm challenged.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this type of content comments because
Mm-hmm.
those are the good ones, that generate some discussions, which is really good. I don't like those type of comments when someone just say, congrats, this is good, because I know obviously it's good because I mean not because I've written that content, but because I've seen that working in practice. So obviously I know that
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Yeah.
it's good, but
You like comments that make you think then, right? That
yes, yes,
mhm.
and
Interesting.
and those type of comments that generate a conversation. Those are the best.
Cool. So, super interesting. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. And I hope you go on to have a lovely day, Adam.
Yeah, thank you. It was great talking with you,
Thank
and you have a
you.
lovely day, Monica. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.